What's up, insiders? And today we're going to be going over a big boy RTA. We're talking about the Timesvape Diesel RTA. Little bit of controversy on this one, right? You know, a couple of reviewers kind of knocked heads on this one. You know, one guy's claiming he took his deck from him. Another one's claiming he designed it from scratch. You know what, man? I'm going to show you both decks involved down low, plus another deck that I think it took some aspects from, and you can make your own decision from there, because to be honest with you, I really don't give a shit. I got no dog in this fight whatsoever. You make up your own mind. Check it out. Nice finish on the black. I do like that. There is your AFC ring right there. Okay. Decent tolerance to it. Not bad so far. Not too sure about that shorty drip tip, man. Not a big fan of it. You guys know I don't like shorty drip tips. I just don't. Definitely a little bit on the snug side. Takes a little prying to get it out. You can see. I mean, it's a decent drip tip. I'm just not into the shorties, but all your other goons will fit fine. In order to take your top off, you just take that off like that. The chimney actually comes off. Here is your recessed fill port right here. It will accommodate most bottles. It is recessed, so if you do overfill a little bit, it won't make that much of a mess. This is kind of interesting, right? Like, this part of the chimney actually comes out. I don't think I've ever really seen that before. It makes the top cap kind of big and bulky, but kind of interesting, that's for sure. On the bottom there, you can see it says Diesel. I got number 622, gold-plated 510, insulator ring around that, stainless steel threading around that. This is the straight glass that will hold 2 mLs. That's useless to me for a dual coil deck. I don't even know why you would include this tank. Don't tell me TPD, because I really don't give a shit about Europe and TPD. Alright, so I don't know why you'd even include that. There is your barrel section right there. You can see it has top slanted airflow, right? See the way that kind of slants downward? Okay? Not the greatest machining. I mean, you can see some really, I don't know, man, some machine marks there. You know, I mean, they did smooth it out, so it's not terrible, but, you know, I think it could have been a little cleaner. I do like the finish on the barrel. I like the diesel emblem. I do like that. Okay, let's put the bubble glass on. Just pop it on just like that. It has a nice tolerance to it. It holds it on there pretty nicely, so I do like that. Let's take a look at the deck. This is what everyone's talking about, man, right? You know, there was some drama with this deck, right? Mike Vapes claims the concept was stolen from him. Ambition says that he designed this from scratch. Be honest with you, man, I don't give a shit. I got no dog in this fight. Let them two hash that out. All right, I'm just here to review the thing. But the deck, when I first looked at it, the deck actually reminded me of that piece of garbage from Cthulhu. That, what the hell was the name of that Morton Owen one? Was it the Zartog, right? That, it almost looked like that with that little wave in the middle there like that. That's what it reminded me of when I first saw it, I gotta be honest. But you can see it's got honeycomb airflow, tons of holes over there on the side, okay? Postless build deck, right? There are your post holes right there. The gold is really, really shiny. Here is your wicking ports right here. GTA kind of style deck, right? With the ring on the outside. All right, I do like that he put the ring on the outside to retain your cotton. That's a nice job on that, Derek. You know, just looks like a pretty simple deck to build on. Let's do a quick comparison so I can show you what I was talking about when I first saw the deck. Now, I said it reminded me of this Zatog by Cthulhu, right? Because you see that little wave in the middle there, that little wall? Well, you know, that's why it kind of reminded me of that. And, you know, that guy Morton Owen, he did this whole wall thing too. He just put the airflow on top. You know, this thing was probably one of the biggest pieces of shit I ever reviewed. So, you know, I don't know why you'd want to take anything from this. But let's get on to the real comparison, all right? Here it is compared, the deck at least. This is the recurve dual RDA deck. And you can see, man, they're very similar. You know, Mike didn't go with that piece in the middle. All right, more Derek went with more airflow holes. Mike went with, Phillips head screws instead of flat. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, are they similar? Absolutely. Do they use the same concept? Absolutely. But that's up to you as a consumer, whether you think they're similar enough that it would stop you from buying one over the other. All right, so let's drop a build in this thing. I already put one in there, okay? Now, according to Derek, what you want to do is you want to get your coil tool and you want to cut these at between a 5 and a 5.5. I like the 5.5 spot. So what you do is you grab your coily tool, put it through the 5.5 spot right there. Just take your wire cutter, get it nice and flush, and snip. Same thing on this side. Make sure you're nice and flush, and snip. Now you want to take your coil and you want to slip it into those post holes, just like that. Now, what you want to do is you want to hold them down with your fingers, and here's what I wanted to show you. See those post screws right there? See how far they are away into that deck? I think they're too far to be flatheads. I think he would have been better off going with hex. It's not a good hex screw. He made the same mistake that Owen made on the Zartog or whatever the fuck that thing was, that monstrosity. There's too long of a reach there. You would have been better off with hex screws. Do the same thing on the other side. Get your screwdriver in there. You hear how it's not always catching? You kind of got to feel and then get your flathead to catch. Real pain in the ass, man. I don't know why you went with flathead screws in this type of deck. Just to be honest with you, kind of stupid, man. Really is. Get your coiling rod in there and place them. Put them right up against that airflow. Same thing on the other side. Right up against that airflow. Right there. That's how you want them. Okay? Your build should look something like that. Now you see how that kind of wraps around the coil? I'm kind of digging that, man. I like the way they did that. I like that design. Maybe this one can come up a little bit. Pull it up a little bit and over, right? See? That looks a little better. Okay? And maybe we can push it over towards that grating a little more. Just like that. That's kind of how you want it. Alright? Let's burn these coils in. See what I'm ohming out at. Couple of hot spots. Let's get them out of there. Glowing evenly, nicely from the inside out. And we're ohming out at 0.18. Alright, let's wick this thing up. Take a nice long piece of cotton because you got to cover 2 coils. Sure you make it nice and pointy on one end. Send it right through. Just like that. Take your vape shears, and what you want to do is you want to cut this right around the middle of that wicking port. I'll show you what I'm talking about. You want to cut it right over the edge of that metal threading. That's exactly where you want to cut it. Same thing on the other side. Just a little bit right there. See how it's just hanging over the edge of that threading? That's where you want it. Let's work on the other side. Pull it right through, just like that. And now we can use the other cotton as a guide, just like that. Now what you want to do, you want to take your wicks, go with the bottom first, and just gently, nice and easy, man. You don't want them in there too tight. See how nice and loose that is? That's how you want it. Flip it around to the other side, same thing. Alright? And that's how your deck should look, just like that. Juice we're going to be using today, fogged out rabbit milk. Just what it sounds like, strawberries and cream. Take your rabbit milk and just start wetting it up, man. Get those wicks nice and saturated. Get those coils nice and wet. Okay, just get them started. You want them to be able to start working as soon as you fill that tank up. Let's see if we have vape. Oh yeah, we got vape. Stuff smells great, man. If you like strawberries and cream, you're going to love this juice. Once we're nice and wet, we want to take the deck section, Want to make sure we line up the honeycomb with the holes in the barrel. See, like that? Just kind of pop it in there, right? Give it a little bit of reverse thread, and then start screwing it down, just like so. Open up that top cap, and let's start filling it up. Now, the one thing about this acrylic tank, really, really dark, man. I'm not a fan of it. I don't know why they didn't go with glass. I would have liked, you know, I just wish it wasn't so dark. If they were going to go with acrylic, why didn't they go with something, you know, more like a frosted look? I don't know. Just not my thing. Put your top cap back on. And now you can see we're all filled up and ready to vape. Let's put our drip tip back on. That's how it looks all put together. Let's go back on top and vape on it. You also get a spare parts bag, bunch of grub screws. You get spare O-rings and a blue screwdriver with some more insulators for the deck that goes on the inside of the deck. Really surprised no coils in a reviewer product. Kind of ridiculous. So that's it, insiders. You saw everything up close and personal. Let's get into them cons and pros. We're going to start off with cons for the Diesel as usual. First con's going to be, man, that gold deck always showing, even through that dark acrylic. You know, it's such an aesthetically pleasing tank. It's so beautiful. They did a nice job on the looks of it, and you just killed it with that gold deck peeking out all the time. I don't mind gold decks. I'm not one of those reviewers who hates gold decks, but I just don't think it should be peeking out like that, especially on this blacked out, you know, Dark Knight version. Why would you do that? It kind of ruins the look of it. I gotta chalk that up to a con. Only two colors? Come on, man. Black and stainless steel? How original. That's a con. That acrylic tank section, I'm not crazy about it, man. They say it's a little bit more resistant, I guess, to citrus juices and acidy juices. I don't know if that's true at all, because I really don't vape citrus, acidy types of juices. But you know what? I just think for the looks alone, they would have been better off going with glass. I'm not a fan of the acrylic tank sections, the straight or the bubble. Flathead screws, that's a con. I showed it to you down low. It's too long of a reach to use flathead screws. On a tank like this with a deck like this, you gotta use Phillips or Hex. You can't use flatheads. It's too much of a reach. It's a big con because, you know, coming from a reviewer, this should have been more well thought out. I mean, a reviewer should know this, so, you know, I'm not giving him a pass on this because a guy like Derek should know, you know, you can't reach that long for a flathead screw. I don't like it. It's a con. Drip tip. Totally low profile. It sucks. I hate them. I don't understand why guys keep putting these stupid drip tips on their tanks. I don't like it. They're not practical. They're not comfortable. I just don't understand how anybody could vape on that thing and say, oh yeah, that feels great. You know, they're for looks. They're all show, no go. It's a con. And the last con's going to be with the straight glass installed. I ran a tank or two through it. I did get some airlock with the straight glass. That's another con that a reviewer should definitely be cognizant of. You can't let something like that go by. You know, you can't have airlock on a tank. It's no good. Even though I don't run the straight glass, and I would never run the straight glass on such a big atomizer, if you're going to include it, you got to make sure that it works right, and this one doesn't. It's a con. But that's it on the cons. Let's move on to the pros, because this one's got some pros. First pro's going to be, man, it's top airflow, baby, so you ain't got no leaks, and you don't need no wicking game. I like the machining on it. They did a nice job on the machining. Airflow on this one is smooth. It's about as smooth as it gets. Let me show you what I'm talking about. You hear that? It sounds smooth. Now, if I cut it down, let's say a little more than halfway. Still smooth, man. Still smooth. All the way open. Really, really smooth. Another con, I want to just jump back to the cons for a second that I might not have mentioned, is I wish that airflow control ring had some stoppers on it. It doesn't. It's a con. As far as the flavor goes, that's a pro on this tank. This has got good flavor. It's got the same flavor that I would say a middle-of-the-road bottom airflow tank has. Listen, it's not going to compete with a great bottom airflow RTA. It's just not. Like, if you put this next to something like the Aromomizer Glass RTA, this thing can't hold a candle to it. The Glass blows it away in flavor. This one's going to have more clouds than something like the Glass, but you're just not going to have that flavor because of the top airflow. The flavor is just not going to be the same as bottom airflow, and I got to point that out to my subs. Look at it, man. It's a good-looking tank. It's aesthetically pleasing. They did a great job on the design of this tank from a look standpoint. And the last pro is going to be, it's got really nice cloud production. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I got it on the Vupu X217, 98 watts. I'm ohming out at 0.13. Check it out. I mean, there's no doubt about it. This thing puts out some clouds. I'm just not crazy about the top airflow and the flavor that you get off of top airflow in general. But the cloud production is definitely there. And that's it, insiders. That's all I got for you on the cons and pros. Like I said, I'm really not going to get into the deck controversy because the bottom line is I don't give a shit. I really don't. It means I got no skin in this game. I got no dog in this fight. It means nothing to me. You got to decide yourself with your own vaping dollars whether you want to, jump on the bandwagon or not when it comes to, this is my deck, no, this is my deck. That's a personal decision that each vapor has to make by themselves. They send me the stuff, I test it out, I review it, I pass my thoughts on to you. That's my job, that's what I do. Let's go over some of the specs on the Timesvape Diesel RTA. This is a 25 millimeter RTA. It's 27 millimeters at its widest point. It is top airflow with a honeycomb design. You get 2 mLs with the straight glass, 5 mLs with the bubble. On your coily tool, you should cut your leads anywhere between a 5 and 5.5. I'd like to give a big shout out to Timesvape for sending this one my way. Appreciate you supporting the channel like that. Don't go anywhere, insiders. Before you go anywhere, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and head on over to our brand new Facebook group because we got a 10,000 sub giveaway going on right now. That's right. Can you believe it? We're at 10K already. I can't believe it myself. We're going to be giving away some awesome prizes. The prizes are as follows. Third place, there's going to be 5 winners of that for a $25 coupon code at Direct Vapor. Second place, there's going to be 1 winner of a $100 coupon code at Vape Wild. And first place is going to be a $200 coupon code at Element Vape. We're going to let it run for a couple of weeks, then we're going to pick the winners. So make sure you head on over to our Facebook page and join up. And that's it, insiders. That's all I got for you today. You keep living that vape life. We're out of here. Deuces. What's up, insiders? Deuces Jack with VapingInsider.com. Today, we're going to go over the top 10 best vape tanks on the market as of April 2019.